face o plăcere să-l invit alături de noi pe domnul Giuseppe Gorla, Infrastructure Consulting Managing Director for CE Region Accenture, which will have a presentation, The Primacy of People in the Digital Age. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I will focus my speech today on the recently released Accenture Technology Vision. We started a few years ago taking a clear commitment in front of our client and the market to define every year very few selected trends that from our point of view are visible today, will have a dramatic impact on the way in which you will run your own business in the next 3 years. And so will have a dramatic impact on the way in which you interact with your client, in which you are defining your product and services, the way in which you structure your organization, and the way in which you are focused your investment. So we started to, and today we will see these very few selected trends. And when we talk about the trends, just a second about the device is here. Okay, and the trends, then year by year, we identify a specific statement, a mantra. Okay, we started a few years ago and we declared that every business is a digital business. There was a lot of skepticism when we start to say this. I think that today, and also today during this conference, you had many confirmation on it, and I would like to be back. Then we said that the focus was to move from digitally disrupted to digital disrupted. That means that digital transformation is not a matter of startup, small company, clever idea, young people, few money that are launching very interesting services on the market, but no impact on the country economy, no impact on the big company. On the opposite, the big company has to enter in the digital transformation, rethinking their business and the way in which they are positioned in the market. Then we move to the stretch your boundary. As soon as you enter in detail, and we will see an example, enter in detail on what does it mean digital for your company, you immediately discover that it's not a matter to stay on the scope, inside the scope of your business. Digital means that you need to target your final customer, understanding which kind of need end-to-end they are expecting from you, and then start to work with your ecosystem for providing an end-to-end services that is definitely larger than what you are doing today in your scope. And then finally, we arrived to this year, and we said, hey guys, we have an issue because we are fan for technology, we are very open to the innovation, there are a lot of stuff that are coming, very well positioned, that demonstrate the impact, but the people are not ready. The people in your company are not ready. And let's just go through the very few technology already mentioned during this morning. Obviously, digital has some prerequisites. For sure, cloud. Cloud means infrastructure, but also software as a service. Infrastructure can be, and both can be provided from a private provider or a public. Pay attention, right now we started to see relevant, or let's say international multi-country clients that already move all their infrastructure into public cloud. They improve the flexibility. They are extremely reliable, and they address the issue on security. And then very cost effective. So it's important to consider the alternative. Then you consider all the vendors. All the IT vendors are already providing all their suite as a service. So it's out to date considering implementation on premises of any relevant application. But cloud is the prerequisite. Then this morning we talked about analytics, big data, and behind analytics and big data is the visualization of data. So the question is related to your people, are your people ready and skilled to manage big data analytics and visualization? Then we talk about security and cyber security. This is a topic on which we will be back. Now, I suggest to run a 90-second video just for having a view on what is happening on the market on a few trends. And then I will enter more in detail. Please.
How can organizations stay one step ahead of digital attackers? New technologies and workforce models are empowering cyber defenders and enabling a more proactive stance in managing digital risk. Today's digital economy is increasingly based on trust, and organizations are looking towards several innovations to help them build and keep that trust. Intelligent automation, supported by artificial intelligence and visualization, helps a proficient security analyst perform as a highly skilled resource. Artificial intelligence helps security professionals understand the larger context of a threat and anticipate its evolution. AI also supports process automation, allowing security teams to automate responses as threats emerge and evolve. Visualization taps into the human ability to zero in on patterns and pick out anomalies. Advanced graphics processing provides real-time views of the entire enterprise, giving teams the ability to cut through cascades of data quickly. And the liquid workforce model reduces challenges in accessing scarce security talent by enabling more flexible workforce arrangements, including crowdsourcing and broad-based collaboration. The liquid workforce model enables companies to benefit from a far greater pool of security experience and expertise than is available today. Learn more about how intelligent automation and the liquid workforce are empowering organizations to overcome ever-changing cyber threats with our full report, Empowering Your Cyber Defenders to Enable Digital Trust.
Okay. I suggest you to take in mind three keywords. Intelligent automation, digital trust, and let's say digital trust and the liquid workforce. All of them are related to the skills that you need to have in-house and the way in which you interact with the market and with the other player for sharing your competence. Now, a couple of flash on what does it mean people first and what we named digital shock. And then we enter in detail on the few trends we identified in this year. So, people first, as I anticipated. You need, as a company, to pay attention, to invest money, to allow your people to become familiar with the innovation technology, okay? We just mentioned automation. Automation means learning machine, robotics, cognitive computing. It's something that is new, but it's something that you need to start to understand right now. And you need to understand internally to the company, working with the people that are already, let's say, familiar with this, in order to be sure that you can, let's say, leverage this solution. You need to have your own experience. We already mentioned visualization of the data. The data are tons of data. Nobody can understand the meaning of the data if you have not your own digital platform, your own analytic platform, okay? And so it is very difficult to be effective if you are not starting to understand how, thanks to the visualization, you can better understand the complexity you have to manage and then utilize the analytics for the forecasting. Digital shock, digital culture shock. Let's take one example among them different on what's happening on car making, automotive industry. Many speakers before mentioned this, mentioned the connected car. So the car a few years ago was a self-consistent object, absolutely isolated. And if you see the industry, you saw on one side the car maker creating, designing and building, assembling the car, then the dealers, and then finally the customer. No relationship between the final customer, the driver, and the car maker. Right now, you have the connected vehicle, the connected car. So, on one side, the car maker is directly understanding and collecting the data on how the car is utilized. They can collect the data every 20, 30 minutes, having a clear picture on how the car is utilized, and so starting to think how they can design the new car depending on the segmentation of the users. But you can also, having a connected car, you can have also the evidence of the services that the car maker start to provide to the final customer. Not only services related to its own scope. Someone mentioned that tire manufacturing start to provide a tire as a service, but they also add services for the driver and the passenger in terms of content, entertainment, or information useful for the drive. Plus, they start to drive the insurance. So currently, as soon as you have a connected car and you authorize the transparency of the information, the insurance costs are completely different from the past. You can pay depending on how long you're using the car, if you are a driver that is running very fast or more conservative, if you are using the car in the city, out the city. And this is possible because the car maker created its own platform, so decided how to manage the digital marketing, how to manage the CRM, how to manage the tons of data coming from the engine, how to manage the services. And this allowed the car maker to start to cover a role completely different from the past, as a service integrator toward the final clients. Is a good example for understanding that the car maker suddenly is a sort of hub interacting with the insurance, with the, let's say, the telco operator, the content company, and any other service provider related to the tourist and so on. So completely changed. If you think what does it mean a car maker in the recent past, and what does it mean car maker today, you understood that they entered in a digital market completely different. And they were forced to change completely their internal process, because you cannot right now design a car just you did in the past in a very segmented waterfall process. You need to have a clear interaction between the marketing, the engineering, the people on the production, on sales, and so on. Final evidence, they discovered that 80% of their clients decided which car to buy before to enter in any dealer. That means that today, the customers are navigating and surfing on the web, utilizing the car configurator, decide the model, blah, 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 analyze the different costs, and then enter in a dealer just to test the car. But they already decide 80%. So it's a revolution. This is an example on what is happening in all the industry today. You can take a bank, you can take an insurance, you can take the health, you can take retailer, okay, you can take the larger distribution, and you can understand the resources company, and you can understand how deep is the change that is happening. For doing this, as we said, we need to be ready to overcome the cultural shock and to have the people that are ready to interact in this way. Now, very quickly, this fiscal year, after saying that people first, pay attention to the culture of the people, invest money for training them, for interacting with the external companies and so on, we identify 5 trends. First is intelligent automation, second, liquid workforce, third, platform economy, predictable disruption, and digital trust. Many different examples can be done for each of them. I prefer to just stay on this slide, then you will have the opportunity to see the full deck. Intelligent automation. What you have to do today? I think that in each of the company you need to take time, review your internal process, understanding how many of these processes are data-driven, labor-intensive, repetitive, and then understand the impact and the benefit for your company if you automate that process, leveraging the innovation technology. Doing this, you will discover also the skill that you need and the kind of solution that you have to apply. Intelligent automation means also, let's say, to be ready to interact with the Internet of Things internally to your fabric, factory, or internally to the world on which products and services are utilized. Liquid workforce, as we said before, we are used to have a very structured organization with a clear accountability, top-down. This is not enough. It's not enough because you need to interact with external, with the outside company skills, experience, and you need to start to work project basis for launching internal initiatives that allow your people to speed up this kind of experience. Platform economy. I just clarify to you one example on the connected vehicle. Without a platform, without a definition on how you would like to interact with your ecosystem, you will never be effective. As soon as you will do this, you will discover that you can think, design a new product and services out of the traditional scope of your company. Predictable disruption. Key point. If let me go back to the example I provide to you of the car maker that is driving the licenses. The key word is disintermediation. Someone in a digital transformation and digital world can enter in the game, disintermediate you, and start to sell an integrated services, including what you are providing. Many different examples on the e-commerce, but you need, and right now is disruptive for each single company, but is also becoming predictable. So it's absolutely required that to start to think, what does it mean for you, becoming digital, the link with the ecosystem, with your own ecosystem, and what does it mean how, for impact on how you are present in the market. Finally, digital trust. Just few facts. Currently, the attacker of the offenders are really sophisticated. We recently launched a platform as a service, as a cyber defense, for helping the client not only to protect themselves, but for understanding who is attacking. Key facts, if you're taking in a Western big banking system, when every time you discover a fraud, the fraud you discover today has been done 6 months before. So, and behind that there are months of preparation and then 1 day for executing the fraud, and then you discover 6 months later. So the problem today is for sure to be ready to protect yourself, but also to try to understand what is happening on the web and who is preparing the attack, and then the identity of the attacker, so you can evaluate the risk. We are talking about digital trust, and then I will finish, because is not just a matter to protect your data. As soon as you understood the digital transformation, digital world, is a matter of your company, but then how you are managing the data of your clients. Because you will use the data, you and your ecosystem. So it's a matter of creating the level of trust between you and the market on the fact that you are ready to protect and you are ready to use for improving the services to the client, but then also to be, let's say, fair with the client expectation. The time is out, I don't want to insist. You will have the deck with all other details. I try to just to say, the latest statement is every business is a digital business, is something that is clear to all of us. Today we said don't underestimate the impact on the people. The first presentation was also related to the change. And finally, let's consider these 5 trends that are, let's say, visible, will impact dramatically your business in the next 3 years, but you need to become familiar with each of them also today. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Giuseppe Gorla. I will encourage all the people to contact you during the break and to put all the questions because we're pretty much on the late, and I'm the bad guy with the watch.